Hey guys, Pride here. I have a new deck profile for you guys. It's an oldie, and my cat just said hi. Hey, what's up, Mirko?
Who's a good kitty? I'm recording a video now, so please, I'll play with you after.
Sorry, I just adopted a cat. She likes to hop up here in the lab area when I'm trying to play test. Anyway, I rebuilt my Danger Dark Worlds with the new Dark World support. Well, rebuild's not exactly the right term. I've already had it built. I just made some edits. Anyway, first we're starting out with Dark Worlds. Danger, sorry. I just woke up from a nap, so I'm a little groggy. Anyway, 3 Danger Bigfoot. First of all Dangers have the same effect where you can reveal them, and if your opponent you reveal them in your hand, and your opponent selects a card from your hand at random. If they hit it, it goes to the graveyard. If they hit anything other than a copy of Bigfoot, you get to special summon it, and on resolution, you get to draw 1 card. Now, they all have their own unique discard effects. If this card is discarded, you destroy 1 face-up card your opponent controls. And each of those effects are hard ones, by the way. Next, we got Danger Nessie. If this card is discarded, you get to search out any danger monster aside from Nessie. Next, we got some draw power. 3 Danger Mothman. When this card is discarded, you basically draw 1 card, both you and your opponent, and then discard 1 card from your hand. Next up, 2 Thunderbird. The effect is almost the same as Bigfoot, except it destroys face down cards. And for the 1-ups, the Monster of More, 1 Danger Chupacabra. When this card is discarded, special summon a danger monster aside from from your graveyard. Tsuchinoko, when this card is discarded, just special summons itself. And finally, Danger Jackalope. When this card is discarded, special summons a danger aside from Jackalope from your deck in defense mode. Alright, that's it for the dangers. Now for the Dark Worlds. First up, we have the new Dark World of the deck, Ganta. This card has 2 effects. First effect, you can use any amount of times in a turn, and that is you can discard this card to add the Dark World field spell from deck to hand. Its second effect is a hard once, where this card is removed from play while you control a face-up Dark World spell cards, and you can special summon it from your bandit zone. Pretty cool, right? Next we got another searcher, Snow. If this card is discarded by your own effect, you can search out any danger, and fun fact, you can search out Snow herself. But if it's discarded by opponent's card effect, not only do you get that search, but you get to special summon a monster from your opponent's graveyard to your side of the field. Pretty cool, right? Let's see here. Target 1 monster to your opponent's graveyard. So then special summon that monster. Yep, I was right. Sorry, I hardly ever use that effect because I prefer the search only. Next up, we got 3 Brow. When this card is discarded normally by your own card effect, you can draw 1 card. But if it's discarded by opponent's card effect, you get to draw 2. Next, we got a new Dark World, Rain Box or something like that. Honestly, I cannot pronounce that name. Anyway, when this card is discarded by your own card effect, you can search out any level 5 or higher Dark World monster aside from itself, and add to your hand. But if it's discarded by opponent's card effect, not only do you do that, but you can special summon a level 4 or lower Dark World monster from your deck or graveyard to either side of the field. Keep that in mind. Next, we got Grapha. The main effect you want to use with this, the main discard effect where you destroy 1 card your opponent has. Next up, we got Silva. This is one of my win conditions because it really screws over your opponent. Basically, if it's discarded by your own card effect, you can summon itself from your graveyard. But if it's discarded by opponent's card effect, which we do have cards that do that, don't worry. Not only does it summon itself, but 2 of your cards, but it must be 2 by the way, no less, gets taken from your opponent's hand and shoved back into their deck. Or put them back in their deck at the bottom, I believe. And now, for Cerulli. When this card is discarded, it special summons itself to your opponent's side of the field, and then it forces you to discard another card. That's the strategy. You summon this, discard this, it destroys your opponent's hand. If you could do that twice, they only have 1 card, and it's pretty hard for them to play. For the last monster, this is not a Dark World or Danger. Black Wings, they're the Elite. This card bounces when in your graveyard hard once per duel. You can bounce a card you control back to your hand, spell summon itself, but you take 400 points of damage. And you can, like I said, you can only do that once per duel. And for the spell cards, first up, in the past I ran 2 of these, but now I'm running 3 of the Darkhold Field Spell. This card works simply: you banish one fiend monster from your graveyard, discard another fiend, and draw 1 card. For some more draw power, Allure of Darkness allows you to draw 2 cards and banish a dark monster in your hand, but if you don't have any darks, your whole hand's discarded. Now we have a new card called Darkworld Archives. This card has 2 effects, and I wish they weren't hard ones, otherwise you'd be seeing multiple copies of this. Basically, first effect, if you control a Darkworld monster, you can discard another one from your hand and boost all Darkworld monster attack points. Its second effect, if a Darkworld monster is discarded due to a Darkworld effect, you can discard another card in your hand, any card, to draw 2 new cards. Next up, we got Darkworld Accession. This is our Darkworld Fusion spell. No, it doesn't only work with Darkworlds, but it's so much better with it. With this, it allows you to fusion summon using monsters from your hand and field, and if it's for a Darkworld fusion, also monsters in your graveyard by banishing them. Of course, but you have to keep in mind, any monster they use materials that's in the field or graveyard is banished, but any monster in your hand is discarded. And if this card happens to be in the graveyard, you didn't use the effect, and you need it, you can use this, add it back to your hand, and discard a Darkworld monster into the graveyard. Pretty cool, right? Next up, we got Danger Response Team, basically a compulse. And it has another effect where you can place it at the bottom of your deck, discard a danger, and draw 1 card. And finally, the MVP, we got Card Destruction, which basically forces both players to discard their entire hand to draw the same number of cards they discarded. Alright, that is a 42 card main deck. Next up, we have the new Fusion. This card is basically an Omni Negate. If your opponent activates a spell or trap or monster effect, you can activate this, change that card's effect to forcing you to discard a card. And yes, that does count towards being discarded by an opponent's card effect. Another ability is pretty cool, is when it's destroyed, you can special summon a banished Grapha to your field. Alright, next up for the Xyz, we got number 60. Basically, you just want to use the effect where you draw 2 and discard 1, but you have to skip your next draw phase. Abyss Dweller, we all know why. TR elements are tearing it up right now. Gaga Cowboy for effect damage during game 3 when it's in time. Baguska, if I have no other plays. Coach King Giant Trainer, and will you get out of here? I love you, Furball, but leave. Yuck. Anyway, Ghost King Giant Trainer, not only, it's actually both effect damage and draw power. This card actually says thrice, believe it or not. But thrice per turn, you can detach 1 material. It requires 3 level 8s. You can draw a card and add to your hand. If that card is a monster card, it inflicts 800 points of damage to your opponent. If it's anything but, they don't take damage. Next up, we have some OTK right here. Basically use this effect to summon this out on top of another Xyz. Detach from this card, and it gains 1,000 attack points for the combined ranks of all Xyz on both sides of the field. And now for my last 2 Xyz, we got number 38 and number 90. Basically my spell negate, and basically I detach. It has another ability where you detach 1 and attack is redirected to this card. And this is just my monster negate. Alright, that's it for the Xyz. And now finally for the links. First we got Security Dragon to compulse, because you want to get Cereally back in your hand as fast as possible. You summon this, but it has to be co-linked. Okay? You summon this while it's co-linked, activate the ability, bounce Cereally back to your hand, and start the combo all over again. Next we got BLS. Honestly, this is just favoritism, because I really love this card. And for the last 2 cards, we got Soyuja, because not only does it allow you to draw 4 if you use 4 materials to summon it, but it allows you to get special summon out of your hand. But both of those abilities only happen once. The special summons are hard ones, and the draw is basically only one summoned. And finally, we got Appaloosa for more negates. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's deck profile, and apparently I hope you enjoyed meeting my cat. Love you, Mirko. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.